Welcome into the Alabama Football Report. Some pretty big coaching news and updates for you on today's show as we broke down in a short. Shout out producer Chris. Kalen DeBoer expected to name tight end coach Nick Sheridan as the new offensive coordinator for Alabama. We'll have some big thoughts on this, but give me your one-word reaction to Sheridan, in theory, I don't think it's officially announced, but being named the offensive coordinator. Sound off for me in the comment section right now. My first word is trust. You have a new head coach. You're going to have to trust him. This is not Nick Saban anymore. And I get there's not the same benefit of the doubt. It's year one. Got to give him a little bit of leeway here. You have to a certain extent, trust the process. I know a lot of you guys are freaking out over it under the message boards, as they always are reckless and out of control. How can you not be romantic about college football? Every loss, the entire staff has to go no matter who it is. It's incredible. Might not be the same now with the expanded playoff, but I digress. I know it sucks Ryan Grubb is gone. That's not great. That is a downgrade. That is the truth. Although we'll see if Sheridan even calls the plays. Maybe there's a chance that DeBoer ends up doing it. But Sheridan is a downgrade from Grubb. I would also argue there weren't really many upgrades over Grubb. That's why an NFL team wanted to hire him as an offensive coordinator. And the NFL coordinator job is always going to be better than the college coordinator job. And I know many of you wanted Kirby Moore, and I'd have been very happy with that hire. I think he's done some really good stuff with Missouri. But Sheridan also knows what Kalen DeBoer wants to do on offense and what he wants to implement. And because he was there with Indiana with him for a little bit and in Washington. And this is not the same Tom Allen's your head coach and your quarterback is going to be a rotating crop of injured guys who weren't that great, and one of which had success the first year when he was healthy with Sheridan, then didn't have it when he was injured. Go figure. Indiana offense also wasn't bad in 2020. Now, it was bad in 2021 when he got fired and this whole supporting cast kind of fell apart. There were injuries everywhere. But in that COVID-shortened season, they scored 36 against Penn State in a win, 37 against Rutgers, 38 against Michigan, 24 against Michigan State, 35 in a loss against Ohio State, 27 in a win over Maryland, only 14 in a win over Wisconsin, and 20 in the bowl game loss against Ole Miss. They finished 8th in the AP poll in 2020, and the offense got a decent amount of the credit. It's fair to say they were bad in 2021. It is. They had 4 quarterbacks play. Their good one, Michael Penix, got hurt and never looked the same, coming off of one of several season-ending injuries he had. You know how the offense was kind of bad for Alabama this year when you were playing 3 quarterbacks? Imagine you were playing 4 quarterbacks, and they weren't the same caliber of guys that you had anyway because it's Indiana. They played 5 top 10 teams in 7 weeks. That's kind of hard to do when you're Indiana and you don't have the same talent as Alabama. The talent levels are very, very different. So I do think some calm needs to be had here. And this is a very different time for everyone because it's not Nick Saban. It's different. You're not getting this elite offensive mind under the best head coach in college football. You have an elite offensive mind. He's just your head coach now. And we'll see how that all plays out. So give me your record predictions in the comments section. What do you think Bama will do this year? Get those records in at the pinned comment of today's show, especially if the ad comes here on YouTube. Couple more coaching moves here to get into. Freddie Roach has now added the associate head coach title in addition to his defensive line coaching job. And Robert Gillespie adding the assistant head coaching title and running backs coach to it as well. What is the difference between associate and assistant, you might be asking? Great question. Senior versus junior VP? I don't know. This doesn't really mean that much. This is, hey, I like you. I appreciate you. I want to make sure you feel a part of this coaching staff when we changed almost everything else about the other staff members. Here's a pay raise too. That's your new head coach, building a relationship, building trust, and doing right by the previous guys. It's not a bad thing at all. There's also this new development. First off, February 5th, Parker Thune reports that Sooner special teams analyst Jay Nunez is going to leave Oklahoma to join Bama as the special teams coordinator. Now, that kind of flew under the radar because nobody else picked it up until today when Jay Nunez, updates his profile on social media. Kind of was like never fully announced, and somehow Bama kept the leaks quiet, which I'll give them credit for there. So you're poaching the Oklahoma kind of assistant special teams coach to come run your group. Remember, you lost, jumping on the guy's name, to different job, who was your special teams coordinator. You have your new one in there. So the coaching staff, mostly in place. Offensive line and coordinator to a certain extent. If there's a secondary coach, we'll see. But those are the main spots left open. Now, Alabama football jerseys are on sale up to 30% off. Go to chatsports.com/Alabama jersey. You can get some alumni player jerseys. Bryce Young, including but not limited to those. There's a lot of the quarterbacks, the running backs, the receivers, etc. Chatsports.com/Alabama jersey. Link will be in the comments section and the description of today's show. All from Fanatics, so you know you're getting a great deal. Again, that link, chatsports.com/Alabama jersey. The NFL Combine is just around the corner. Stay tuned. I have some interviews with players, by the way. 10 former players invited to the 2024 NFL Combine this year for the Crimson Tide. Mostly on defense, by the way. Jace McClellan, he's going. Jermaine Burton, he's going. JC Latham, he's going. Justin Boisby, Chris Braswell, and Dallas Turner. Defensive backs Terrion Arnold, Kool-Aid McKinstry, Jalen Key, and kicker Will Reichard. Assuming most all these guys are going to be healthy enough to do all the drills and everything there, I'm most curious to see what Kool-Aid McKinstry runs. There have been in the scouting circles concerns over the full-end deep speed for McKinstry. There were concerns around that with Trayvon Diggs as well. He did not run, fell to round 2. Has had a pretty damn good NFL career. Maybe a similar path is in the fold for McKinstry if he doesn't run or doesn't run well. Arnold, Turner, Latham, and I still think McKinstry should be round 1 picks. You know, Braswell probably day 2. Boisby could sneak into day 2, maybe an early day 3. McClellan, Burton, Key, and maybe day 3 guys, and it's a kicker with Reichard, so who knows where he ends up going. What Alabama player do you think goes off the board first in the 2024 NFL Draft? The vibe I get is Arnold or Turner are going to be your most likely picks there. Sound off for me in the comments section right now. ESPN has updated their way too early 2024 college football power rankings, and in what's probably not a huge surprise, Alabama has slid down the ranks. Now, think of this as, hey, post-transfer portal updates, basically. So Georgia stays number 1. I get it. OSU jumps up 3 spots. I also get it. Oregon stays at 3. Okay. Texas falls 2 spots. Basically, Ohio State kind of jumps over them. Notre Dame goes up 5 spots. I think the Fighting Irish are going to be very good. Why did they jump 5 spots? But they didn't really do anything drastically. Ole Miss is up a spot. Missouri's up a spot. Penn State's up 2 spots because okay. Bama drops 5. Utah also up 3 as well. I'm not overly surprised by that, and I'm also not bothered or angry by it. Bama is more of an unknown than what they've been historically. And frankly, I still think being top 10 is a sign of respect for them. They lost some talent. They lost their head coach. It's going to be different. Top 10 is fine. Would I take them over Missouri? Yeah, I still would. But top 10-ish is the right range. Maybe fringing top 5. Notre Dame being high, though, is kind of odd. And they changed the quarterbacks, but I'm pretty sure we knew that going in beforehand, before these rankings have been updated. I think rather than might be an upgrade for them. I'd put Bama somewhere in that 6 range. I might have Ole Miss at 5, by the way. Might put Notre Dame down lower and put Ole Miss at 5. But that might have me be a crazy person in that path there. But I think this is kind of indicative of college football coming up this year. Top 4 is pretty clearly the top 4. Georgia, OSU, Texas, Oregon, in some order. After that, going to be really interesting. So where would you rank Alabama right now? Among all college football teams, are they top 5? Are they top 4 still for you? Sound off in the comments section. As a reminder, the goal is 20,000 subscribers by A-Day. Help us get there. If you haven't already, hit that sub button right now.